Pacific Nations Cup, folks. Japan up against the US. Apologies, this is a much belated look back at the game. This game was on at 10 p.m. last night. South Africa and New Zealand kicked off at 3 a.m., so I opted to sleep kind of early. So I missed this game, but I've watched it after the All Blacks and Springboks game. And Japan get the win pretty comfortably over the US, 41 points to 24, although the US did have a nice wee kind of comeback period where they managed to bag a couple of tries, which at least brought it back within a score before Japan were able to pull it away again. The US struggled a wee bit on the restarts. At times, the tempo of the game seemed pretty high. Japan certainly looking to play at pace. And, their set piece did all right. Maul got a bit of a test. The US went for that option a few times. And, the Japanese scrum, for the most part, looked pretty good. We'll go through some key events and stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how this one went. I mean, Japan were denied a try to Tuitama really early after a foot and touch before a little dink through, so that was kind of ominous, and the US had knocked it on from the restart, so certainly an area that they'll be looking to improve for the semi-finals. Didn't take long for Japan to open the scoring, though. They slotted a penalty on 4 minutes to at least get a bit of pay for all that possession and territory they had. I don't think the US had exited their half by the time it was 3 points to nil. And then the first kind of try of the game comes about 10 minutes later. McCurran is the guy who finishes it off. Nice Japanese line-up move, and they had a few really kind of nice, slick set plays. Lee, the number 10, dinks it over for Riley, who looked absolutely the business. He offloads to McCurran. It's a bit of a wowzer try, that one. It's certainly worth a look at the highlights if you haven't seen it. 10 points to nil Japan. Cardi did get the first points for America in reply on 17 minutes, and he had a pretty good night with the boot. Japanese handling error led to a bit of US opportunity for territory. So back to a one-score game, I guess. I figure you might as well opt for the three, seeing as they hadn't had much going that far. But, I mean, the USA were under pressure. Straight from the restart, again, they put themselves under, unnecessary pressure, I feel. But then again, we saw it a week before with Australia against Argentina kind of doing the same thing. I mean, they got charged down. Carty knocked on just a straight pass for an exit, just like scrum half to number 10, just kick it out. He just drops it cold. So, unforced error. And then Japan punish. They go through some phases. They go to the American goal line. And then Wanga, the big lock, is able to go over. So 17 points to 3. Mistake from the Americans failing to exit, directly punished. But then, I mean, Japan, pretty soft penalty at line-out time of their own kind of also leads to a mistake being punished for them. Like just playing the man in the air, kind of unnecessary stuff. I mean, I guess if you're competing for the ball, sometimes it's easy enough. But yeah, I still thought it was a bit of a soft one from Wanga. USA at this point, you're down 17-3, no longer really can opt for threes, opt for touch, opt for a maul, and that man Fa'anana Schultz, he goes over for a try. So 17 points to 10. It's back to that one-score game territory. So a little bit hairy for Japan, but I never really felt like Japan were at any risk of going behind in this game. But they'll certainly be looking to shore up a bit of the maul defense because the USA got a bit of pay. They've only got the one try, but they came close another time. Sakate, the captain, had to go off injured, unfortunately, before half-time, but Harada, his replacement, scored, I think, his first ever test try pretty much immediately upon coming on the field, man. Japan, quick play again. They're looking to tap those penalties again, keep the ball in play, keep the tempo high. They go through some phases, and Harada's able to go over on the right. So, yeah, 24-10 at halftime is looking comfortable enough. Japan have had more run meters, 445 to 213, more than double. Tackle percentage, Japan's 89, whereas the US are at 80, so a little bit struggle. And then Japan have also conceded not quite half the penalties, 4 to America's 7. So all the kind of key areas you expect Japan to be ahead in, they are ahead. Second half starts. Riley scores a heck of an individual try. It's a step one way, it's a step the other, it's a dummy, gas, beautiful individual try. Certainly a highlight reel worthy if you haven't seen it. 31-10, looking like it's going to be potentially a bit of a hiding. But then Naikapula goes off injured, and the USA have their best period of the game. They scored not long after. Augsburger on the wing, great cutout pass, I think it was to Haas with that one. So 31-17. And then USA, a couple of minutes, they go for a couple mauls, one where all the backs get in there. Then Whanana Schultz get held up for a second one not long later. But then from a free kick, they tap it. And then Augsburger is able to go over again out on the left wing. So good play for the US to be able to shift the direction of play to find that bit of space for Augsburger to get his double. So 31 points to 24 is back to game on. But then, as I mentioned, like just as the US are threatening, Japan take it back away from them. They kick a penalty, which makes it back to a 2-score game and also stops the momentum. Then we got the kind of drinks break because it's pretty hot over in Japan this time of year. So 34-24, 2-score game. Momentum's kind of been stifled for the US. And then Japan, big scrum penalty, wins themselves an advantage there. They opt for the line-out from that play. Then they got another sweet line-up play. Tatakawa to Riley to Tuitama. It's try time, 41-24. That is the final score. Still 15 minutes to play, but no further scoring plays for the remainder of that one. So yeah, Japan comfortable enough. USA had their moments, but over the course of the 80, like I mentioned, only looked close enough to bring it back within game and not actually kind of threaten to take the lead. Clean breaks, 7-2 to Japan. Japan 174 passes to 94. They were really keeping the ball moving. Coughed up a bit of ball, 13 turnovers conceded, but also the US with 10. But tackle percentage, Japan 90 to 83 for the US. I mean, the US had to get 4 turnovers, 1 to 3. But we're often having to kind of hang on for bits. But as I said, still managed to at least keep it interesting at times. Riley, 3 clean breaks. He, key man in attacking play set up for Japan. Derns has 19 tackles. Whanana Schultz, 28 carries, very busy. Tuitama had 16 carries for Japan. But, semi-finals for both of these sides. USA will face Fiji and Japan will face Samoa. It looks to me like a Japan against Fiji final. But who knows? In sports, stranger things have happened. I'm off to watch second game of the Rugby Championship weekend for me with the Argentinians hosting the Wallabies. If you watch Japan and USA, let us know your thoughts on it. If you love the Pacific Nations Cup coverage, do let us know. It doesn't get the same attention as the Rugby Championship, but I've been enjoying watching the games. And subscribe to the channel. You guys take care. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.